Wildfires are still raging in Chernobyl's exclusion zone, threatening the nuclear site's 4 reactors. The situation will considerably worsen if the flames reach Chernobyl's 4 nuclear reactors. Steve McCamley on Collective Spark. The raging fire in the radioactive forest surrounding Chernobyl nuclear power plant raised alarms in Ukraine. It's around the Kiev area, which is the capital of Ukraine, as we know. It's now threatening large deposits of radioactive waste from that 1986 nuclear disaster. The wildfires, which are consuming the polluted forests in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, are feared to be moving towards the abandoned trucks and vehicles and other material near the disaster site, the area, the things that were abandoned there. Now, while the fires occur somewhat regularly in the region, forest fires that began raging April 4th around the infamous former site of the nuclear power plant at Pripyat are close to a 2 kilometers or 1 mile from the reactor's housing much of this nuclear material at the Chernobyl disaster zone, according to officials. Katerina Pavlova, who heads Ukraine's state agency for management of the exclusion zone, has been involved in the firefighting, and she says, "We've been working all night digging fire breaks around the plant to protect it from the fire. At the moment, we cannot say the fire is contained. The faulty nuclear reactor near the city of Pripyat remains surrounded by 1,003 square miles. That's 2,600 square kilometers of restricted access. It's known as the Chernobyl exclusion zone and the zone of obligatory resettlement. While the area is largely uninhabited, about 200 people have refused to vacate the area since April 1986 disaster at the plant's 4th nuclear reactor that produced a massive cloud of radioactive fallout that drifted over Europe." And last Sunday, Yegor Fursov, the head of Ukraine's State Ecological Inspection Service, said in a post to Facebook that radiation levels in the center of the fire were about 16 times higher than normal. In the post, he included a video of a Geiger counter revealing the heightened radiation levels, but officials have taken pains to say that the newly released radioactive material is not enough to pose any danger to people in the region. Fursov himself later withdrew his claims about the heightened radiation levels, claiming that man-made radionuclides were not detected at the site of the fire. Russian news agency TASS reports that despite Ukrainian officials' attempts to suppress the fire, which have included airdrops of hundreds of tons of water using considerable air power, the fire continues to rage in a largely uncontrolled manner. And the State Emergency Services Ukraine said by April 13, the Emergency Service Ministry, together with the forestry officers, continued to fight the wildfire in the Korogodsky Denisovetsky forest trees. Sorry, that's the church bell. It's chiming 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, that's it. Okay, sorry. So the government service added that 366 people and 88 vehicles, including 3 AN-32P planes and 3 helicopters that dropped 370 tons of water on April 12th, have been involved in the ongoing operation. The service also said that radiation levels in the Ukraine capital of Kiev remain stable, adding that the radiation levels on the ground and radionuclide content in the water does not exceed allowed limits. But there is a fear that the situation could considerably worsen if the flames reach Chernobyl's 4 nuclear reactors. The fire in the Chernobyl exclusion zone began April 4th and was allegedly started by a 27-year-old resident of Kiev. And the police in Kiev region announced that criminal proceedings have begun against this suspect. And why did he set it off? He thought it was a joke. Unfortunately, people like that, what can you say? This is by Elias Marat, and on Minds Unleashed, that's on Creative Spark, Creative Commons. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not certainly on not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.